At age 19, my first guest had her first job as a head designer, and her first collection was on Wall Street Journal. And at 22, she became head designer of 7 Jeans, designing for all categories, including plus size, and now had designed for Isaiah Mizrahi Jeans, Eli Tahari, Hannah Montana license, Disney license, and more. Hernandez's collection were and are available worldwide at mass retailers such as Saks Fifth Avenue, Macy's, Bloomingdale's, Lane Bryant, Kohl's, Target, and many more. In 2013, my guest starred on NBC's reality designer competition series, Fashion Star. She was the winner of the Fiat Designer Campaign and mentored by Nicole Richie. At age 24, she launched her own collection, Glaudi by Johana Hernandez. Glaudi by Johana Hernandez is avant-garde collection inspired by the woman on the spotlight, designed for the elite woman who stands out for her success and style. Glaudi specializes in haute, couture dresses, and bridal. Glaudi was created to raise funds for kids suffering from poverty in Latin America through her fashion events and sales. She has been nominated by People magazine on Espanol in 2014's 25 Most Powerful Women, Latina magazine 30 Favorite Stars Under 30, and Alegria magazine 10 Most Influential Latinas in Los Angeles. Johana was honored for her success as a hard-working and inspiring designer. While all these accolades have been awarded to her, they were earned with hard work and sacrifice as her designer career started from humble beginnings to now have a successful brand, Glaudi, named known internationally. Boy, that was a mouthful. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to welcome my guest, Miss Johana Hernandez.
Hi, Joe. Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I shared with you in the pre-interview how excited I am to have you on. I am very impressed with your story. So why don't you share a little bit with the audience, a little bit about your history, your background, where you came from, and how you got to where you are.
I think the best part about that I love sharing is that even though I've had all this background, I was born and raised in Compton, California, which is a city that is not known for the glamour. It's known for actually being violent and making things and rappers and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I was born and raised there, and even though I was born there, like I was able to succeed very young at a young age at 18 and a half. Like I went to the interview and I got my job at 19 as a head designer for a company. And it all started with my parents' humble job. Like they came from El Salvador to the U.S. and we started working in factory sewing, and I was just a curious little kid interested in what they were doing. But never did I think I would become a designer because I felt a designer is like being a rock star, something that can't be achieved. And for me, at least, because of where I was born, and that God blessed me and gave me favor and took me to the path, which I really love. And I'm so grateful to have Glaudi. That's like the brand that I created myself, and because it was all made like to be positive, to show people to give back to their community where my parents came from, and not to forget that when you become successful and you have to remember that like where were your roots, like give back to those kids so they could be like the next generation that become successful. And with Glaudi now I focus on like evening gowns, bridal, couture, anything that's like more elegant, and couture is what it's known for, and it's so beautiful how a collection that's known for New York Fashion Week and working with very elite clientele is it also helped build the school in a really cool area in the Florida. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm just happy to be here to be able to share with everyone that just to be real and just to always put God first, and He'll take you to put you on His platform as long as you always share that it wasn't like me that made things happen. It was God, that made everything happen for me. At least that I feel.
Absolutely. I tell you, like I said, it's just so inspiring. There's so much that you put in there. And so I want to break it down a little bit and really help our listeners to understand how these different areas shape you. I personally believe, as we believe on this show, that foundation of is faith, family, and the community to achieving your goals. So, could you tell us some of the influential figures in your life that helped you or inspired you to reach out and set higher goals?
To me, I never had like a person that I look up to. It's never been like, okay, I want to be like this person, because I feel like God made me unique and I want to be like whatever God made me.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, the most inspirational person or anything has been God. Like I've always been, really focused on what did Jesus do? How could I be more like Christ? And And I feel like that's as Christians we have to like try to be Christ-like, and it's not easy, but I always try to be very easygoing with things and remember that God was brought to this world like a humble like person, like he was a construction, like he was a he did construction, right? Like he did not construction, but like he was like he wasn't like but then like he was like like he had this big old throne that he like belonged to, and I think that's how I live my life, and that's what I look up to. Like I look up to God, and I just live. I work really hard. I feel like I've learned through the Bible that God will give you what your heart desires if it comes from a good place. And also, you have to put work in it. Like you have to if you want to become a designer, you have to work long hours. Like trying to practice the trait and be excellent in it. So if I do actually, I look up to my parents too because they came to this country with nothing and they made something out of themselves.
Yeah.
And my two brothers are also successful, and I just feel that we came here with nothing. And back in the day, like we're from El Salvador, so back in the day, like Salvadorians was really they were there was a lot of racism actually between like Mexicans and Salvadorians and just all cultures. Like it wasn't like united. So I just wanted to like work really hard and like become successful to like gain respect, not because of the things that that I like just gain respect from what I do as a profession. So knowing like my ethnicity doesn't have to stop me from being successful. And now my best friends are Mexican. Like everything is different. Like this generation is so much different. And to me, I just look up to my parents because they worked really hard and to God, to be honest. And I think that's taken me a long way because that's like I think the best example you could have. For me at least.
Absolutely. That's just like I said, that's remarkable, and that impresses me so much at how bold you are about your faith and how much you acknowledge God in every area of your life, and that is so important. Like you said, that people need to hear that, especially during this time period when God is basically not a part of especially our pop culture. But people need to hear the importance of God and having God in your life. So, what would you say is what would you say is your greatest success and your greatest failure, and how has your faith steered you through the challenging times, and how has it steered you toward the times of success?
I think my greatest success was I mean there's been so many amazing things like as far as my career and accomplishments and things like that. But the biggest thing to me was to be able to go back to El Salvador where my grandmother was born, and I never got to meet her because she passed away from cancer before I was born.
Okay.
And to be able to go to this Christian school that was like near the mud, and it was like really like, sticks and metal at the top. Like there was nothing there. Like it was just people just kept it because they like respected her. But to be honest, it was like maybe like and there's a lot of kids, maybe like 40 kids and like a couple of teachers, and it's really poor. And through when I made my collection Glaudi, my friends were looking for Salvadorian designers to be able to raise funds for El Salvador. And I was a designer, but for a company, like a corporate company, so I couldn't say that I couldn't show any of those designs as my name because I get paid to be like behind the scenes.
Right.
So I decided to create Glaudi, and through the funds that we created through the ticket sales of that event and through the sales of the dresses, I was able to build the school, and now it's an actual school in El Salvador. And I think like every time I go there, like they can't give me anything but they're great, like for them to be happy and for them to be grateful and for them to just bless me with their words. And I think it's so beautiful to be able to have done that because now I feel like I'm always and forever going to be like make my grandmother proud, and people in the village are going to be like, oh yeah, that's the granddaughter of Irma or whatever. And like I think that's awesome. You know what I mean? So to me that was my greatest accomplishment because that was very selfless. Like it wasn't for me, and it wasn't for me to be like on a pedestal. It was for me to give back and give back to the community. So like the kids out there like become smart and successful, and they don't have to come here to this country. Because the reason my parents came to this country was because like they didn't have anything out there that they wanted to better themselves. Like they would focus more on education in their own countries and open more jobs. Like they can stay out there. So hopefully by doing those little things, I can make an impact to them, and they can share my story and my parents' story, and then we get inspired to become whatever their hearts like whatever God gave them to be. Like to find a purpose. And so that was my biggest accomplishment.
I know everything couldn't have been, smooth sailing all the way through. And so many times, people, listeners, share things sometimes about how they're going through issues and how much they're tempted to give up, or maybe they make a mistake and they fall short and they're tempted again to give up, or maybe they do actually give up, or they make a wrong decision. But how has your faith helped you to overcome those things and go beyond them? And so in spite of the negativity or the wrong choices or bad mistakes they made, how can they overcome that? How's your faith helped you to do that?
Yeah. Well, I think I wouldn't call anything that I've done as a failure because I think that's challenges and I just overcome them or if I don't like I just move on to the next thing, But I think for me as far as career, like, of course there's been a lot of rejection and there's been a lot of love. So I don't think that's been like the most impactful thing in my life just because it always continues to be the same. Like some people are gonna love you and some people are not gonna love you and the world goes on because there's those people that love your work and you stick to your niche, So for me, my biggest challenge that I've learned the most was when I went through heartbreak. I was in a relationship for a very long time with someone, and we were unequally yoked. And I knew God was telling me that wasn't for me. And when I separated from that, I decided to follow Jesus and to just focus on wherever my path was with God and to go with Him. And I think that was really hard for me because I've been with someone for so long, and I'm really giving up all that time and just telling God, you know what, I have faith that you have the right husband for me, and so far I'm still single, but I feel like through that I learned so much because I became selfless to God, and I feel like I learned that I wasn't the nicest person either. Like before, I was there, everything was going smooth for so long that I became comfortable, and then when you become comfortable, everything's just still. So letting go of a relationship that wasn't for me, it taught me to be alone, and it kind of opened my eyes to this world that I used to live in a bubble. And after that, I was open to actually, from being heartbroken, I learned to love more, to appreciate people more. Instead of me turning bitter and resentful, I feel like I love more now. And I feel like God just opened my eyes to learning where He shows me where I need to work on myself and how to become be prepared to be a wife. I think if I would have got married back then, I would have been a failure because I did not know how to serve others and not even others, just how to before my friends would talk to me about breakups or heart issues. I wouldn't be able to relate because I've never had any problems. So after getting my heart broken and healing from it and focusing only on God, I feel like it made me so strong. And now I only do things for His purpose, and I only want to do things that really feed the soul, instead of doing things just because for fun and stuff. So now I really care about others, and I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like that situation made me really understand what love is and what marriage is, and I have so much more respect to people who are married and to people who are in relationships, and I design for brides, so now my brother and I we pray for each bride that we're designing for.
Wow.
And we pray to guard their heart.
Yes.
To help their marriage last, so they're not to go through divorce. So, but we've learned that because we don't want that for that to happen to us, because we noticed how both of us were in relationships and they didn't work out. And it was just something that that kind of, I feel like we were at the right place. You have to learn how to love others more than love that person more than yourself, and put God in the center of it. So so that was my biggest challenge, and I feel like I mentioned, the way I conquered it was by learning how to love for real. Not just because you want to be with someone, but because you just love them as a person and appreciate them with all their flaws. So that was my lesson.
I need to bring you back for a relationship show. I mean, that is so on point. I think that's so crucial. You talk about being equally yoked. I like how you said not the failure, but it's actually just a challenge. And how your mindset changed. But that is so on point. Having the right relationships in your life and being with the right people is essential. And I think that many of your other listeners and myself can attest to that. That when you're not in the right order with your relationships, in the right godly order, it can definitely cause some heartache, and pain, and trouble. But the fact that you were able to overcome that and continue to go forward and not to say I give up and I'm not going to trust God, which so many people tend to do, and they'll just throw their hands up and say, well, forget it all. But the fact that you pressed even closer to your relationship with God, that you want to know Him even more, that's just so powerful, and that's a valuable lesson that people need to learn. And so, wow, I mean, I think you answered so many questions, but you just answered them all. You knocked it out of the park. And I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story, inspiring people, and sharing your faith. Because that's what's so important, is the faith aspect.
Yeah, and thank you so much. And just for them to follow more of my work, for everyone, just follow me on Instagram at Glaudi Women, or my bridal collection at Glaudi Bridal, and for my website at www.glaudicollection.com. And the word Glaudi is spelled Glaudi. So I really would love to share my work with everyone. So whoever's watching and listening, check it out. So GlaudiCollection.com. So I just came back from Canada filming a new TV show called The Fashion Hero.
Okay.
So I'm going to be one of the judges looking for the face of my brand. So that TV show is coming spring 2017. And what I loved about this TV show is that that we're showing that we love people just the way they are. So we're looking for models that don't have plastic surgery, who are real 100%, are not the size 0 or not 6 feet tall. They're just like everyday people that believe that they could be models. So it was a really positive show that we are launching next spring. And then also my new collection is coming up that you can see on my website. And a fashion LA Fashion Week is coming up in November. So if you're in the LA area, go onto my website and ticket sales will be up soon in about 2 weeks, so you can come to see the show.
Well, I would go in for the modeling gig, but you know, I think I kind of fit all the other modes. I'm over 6 feet, so I think I'll fit into it well. But
you could be 6 feet tall. You could be 6 feet tall. It's okay. You just can't be a perfect Barbie doll.
Oh man, see that's what I said. It counts me out. That counts me out.
Oh man.
That's absolutely.
Then I guess you could just watch the show.
Yeah, I'll just support the show then, because I'm just, I'm just too bottle-esque. Well, like I said, I greatly appreciate it again.
There's GlaudiCollection.com.
Yes, GlaudiCollection.com, and I look forward to seeing you, hearing from you again. God bless you in all that you do.
Okay, thank you, Joe.
Thank you. You do.